exclusive for Antipode News. We're here today in Los Angeles with David Isaacs, producers for the Paramount and teacher at USC.
USC. I'm a writer-producer. We call it a hyphenate. And did shows like MASH and Cheers, Frasier, and Simpsons. And for the last 7 years, I've been teaching at the School of Cinema at University of Southern California.
Yeah, and we would like to get into the deep about a very particular initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just talk about it?
Sure. Well, the University of Southern California School of Cinematic Arts is probably one of the most renowned schools of cinema in the United States, let alone, I think,
if not the best in the world.
If not the world, but we don't want to be a little bit modest.
Let's say.
We have actually now 6 divisions of study within the world of cinema and television: production, writing, animation, interactive, critical studies, which is the actual study of film scholarship, and media arts, which is the use of media in the business world. In other words, not a narrative kind of study, but a study of the actual tools of media to be used in marketing, merchandising, in the world of business.
I see. David, why comedy?
Well, one of the things we've really had an opportunity to do is to actually create an initiative for the study of comedy. We like to think that we're the first university or cinema school to actually create a course of study for young people who want to work on their comic voice. There are certainly plenty of places outside of the university situation to learn those kind of things. There's some wonderful improvisational troupes in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Second City, and the Groundlings and Upright Citizens Brigade, all places where people study improvisational comedy, improvisational theater. A lot of those people have gone on to be on Saturday Night Live, which is one of America's most popular shows, comedy shows, and people like Tina Fey and Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, people who have become sort of international, Steve Carell, people who've become international stars.
But this initiative offers a lot more.
So we're trying to not only study comedy in cinema, but in a sense as an art form in itself. We have a number of courses in 2 of our divisions, writing and production, where we work on half-hour television shows, sitcoms, comic films, webisodes. Those are existing courses, but we wanted to sort of bring it all under one roof, if you will, to actually create a track where a student who wanted to come to a university to actually work on their comic voice.
And that's my next question. What does it take to be admitted to your course?
Well, depending on which division you want to specialize in, we usually ask for a portfolio of writing, something you've shot, a webisode or a short film. Those are the things that we usually like to have on the application. But once you come to the university, you can actually declare that you are interested in following the track of comedy. We have some wonderful instructors, all of whom have worked on television shows, in movies. In addition to myself, Barnett Kellman, who directed many episodes of Murphy Brown and Mad About You, 2 very popular sitcoms. Also is a theater and film director. Peter Bonners, who is a great sitcom actor and comic director. Ken Levine, who's my writing partner for many years on shows that I worked on. Those are just an example of some of the people we have who are actually teaching. And we felt as if we could take a student from learning the foundations of comedy in film, on television, stand-up, improvisational theater, all of those things, commedia dell'arte, restoration comedy, all of those things, and give them an idea of the history and the connections that comedy makes from generation to generation, and then kind of branch off and to learn comedy, working with actors and working specifically on comic scenes, writing comedy, and then even have a chance to intern in a production company that specializes in comedy.
Yeah, because especially for you, irony has always been a very powerful tool.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've started out wanting to write comedy. I didn't have this kind of opportunity when I started. I really didn't. I came out to California from where I grew up back in the East Coast of the U.S., and I really had to sort of kind of find it myself and work at it, and not have the opportunity to not only study with people who have done the form, but to have visits from people who are actively doing the movies that I'm seeing, the things that I've loved before, and movies that are on their way to theaters. So the opportunity that we have in being in Southern California, having a very strong alumni from USC out in the entertainment business, all of those things we really wanted to do to try to create, as I said, a kind of academy of comedy.
Yeah, let me ask you one question. You talk about entertainment business, so it's still a business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and how the business as a word in itself can affect the comedy.
Okay, well, I think basically the comedy business, well, I'll use myself as an example. I always worked, for the most part, in sitcoms, as I said, MASH, Cheers, Frasier. Those are usually the most successful shows in syndication that are sold to be rerun. And now, of course, you can watch all those things on demand through the paid networks like HBO and Showtime, and Netflix, Amazon, and of course on cable. So those shows continually run. They're continually, in many ways, drive the residual entertainment business. So comedy is always king, and has been certainly on television, but very much also in film. And but it's never been given the sort of respect, I think, that it deserves as an art form. It never wins Academy Awards, in other words.
Yeah, it has to be underlined. Aside
Yes.
from your own production, what's the comedy you like the most?
What comedies do I like the most? Well, certainly the things I've worked on, but I enjoy I enjoyed sitcoms. Always have. I love Seinfeld, Arrested Development of the last few years. Show I love very much now is Parks and Recreation, which is a show with Amy Poehler. Big Bang Theory, which I know is very popular in Europe. Even that might even be more popular there than it is in America. And of course, you know, the comic films, the movies of Mel Brooks, Woody Allen. You know, those are obviously the great American comedy directors and writers and performers. And a lot of French comedy, a lot of English, a lot of British comedy as well.
One last question.
Sure.
It's almost the 4th of July. What does it mean to you as an American and as a writer?
The 4th of July?
Yeah.
Well, it's a great holiday. It's a fun holiday. Where I live,
go
we
to the
have.
beach? How we
Well,
do? Yeah.
where I live in Pacific Palisades, outside of Los Angeles, we have a wonderful parade every year. And it really is a chance to kind of see your neighbors, and everyone shows up for a parade, and we have fireworks and all that kind of stuff. And I think it kind of is inspiring in a way to know that that there's a very specific celebration that we can look to
As Americans.
as Americans, and the actual birth date of our country. Just these days, I think you need to step back a little bit and reflect. And it's in the middle of the summer, so we enjoy all those of activities. But I think it's, as an American, I don't want to get too cliched, but as an American, I think you have to realize how important it was that the founding fathers took advantage of a situation and created and used all of the things going on in the Enlightenment in the 1700s and brought that all together into a document that declared that men are created equal. And I think we all like to believe that. It doesn't always work that way, but
because some men are more equal than the others.
some people are born more equal than others. But I think it's the all-American holiday. I think that's probably, as a writer, I think of it that way more than anything else.
Thanks for spending time.
My pleasure. Thank you for being here in LA. We haven't seen each other in 24 years, so it's great to have you here. Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Is that okay?
That was great.
Okay.